Sweet, beautiful souls, hello and welcome back. Do we have a powerful, incredible episode ever in store for you today? I was recently given a massive reality check and little nudge by my higher self. And she brought through this message to me, and I'm going to be sharing it with you all. And it really just, oh, it stopped me. It stopped me and brought me to just this place of just utter, there's no words. There's no words, but you will be able to feel the sensation of it when we dive into the message and when we share the message. But before we get into the message, I want to preface and share the backstory because I know that so many of you will relate to this. And this is going to catapult you into the next iteration of your journey, your path, your healing, the solutions, the answers, the love, the divinity, all of it. This is what I'm sharing. That's going to be the catapult and catalyst to that. So buckle up because my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. I am so excited to share this with you because as someone who has been really immersed in this realm of consciousness, but as well as health and this system that I witness that we are living in, and not just the system of health and healing, but the larger systems at place. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. And if you're here, you know this, and you are aware of this, and your eye is open to this. And that is that not everything in this world is here to support us. And this is a very humbling and also unfortunate place to get to come to the realization that those in positions much higher than we are doing things that are not good for us and have set up systems and financial systems, health systems, economic systems that don't have our best interest at heart. Okay. You probably are aware of this. And what I have seen is we then get very passionate, myself included, on this problem that people are not doing things in a just and right way. They're not actually supporting us. They're not actually healing us. They're not actually allowing us to become wealthy. They're not actually, and here's the thing, they're not like no one actually has this power over you. Like we all have the power. But if you're just flowing with the mainstream system, this is what it will appear as, and this is what it will feel like, and this is the system that you will be ushered into is not having enough money, not having great health, and just getting by in all aspects and areas of your life. This is what our system has so deliberately created. And when we begin to become aware of this, it's we get as human beings, one of two things happen. We either become a victim to it, and why would they do this? Blame game, victim, right? Or the other camp of like, I see like the very warrior masculine camp of like, fight back. We will overcome you, gather everyone. You're not going to take us down. That camp too. I've been in both. I've been in both. Okay. So just to, just to clear that. And when this happens, we're still actually not in our full power when we are saying that they are so powerful. And here's the thing, they are powerful. They are powerful. And there are a lot of things that are not working against us. Like, my goodness, like I was just having a conversation about the water. Like, you guys, there's so many toxins in the water. And I wouldn't want to drink tap water. Like, I wouldn't. I would go thirsty for as long as I could before I could get pure clean water. Because there are pharmaceuticals, there are antibiotics, there are fluoride, there are parasites, there are all of these things, which, by the way, if you need like really good clean water, like, check below. There will be a link for a discount code for my favorite water filter, because I've tried them all, and this is the one that I use and love and gives clean water. So, these things like that, and like food, I I truly believe, this is where I believe that we chose the physical world. And so taking care of our physical vessels is really important. And, does this mean we have to be perfect? Absolutely not. But doing the best we can with what we have to take care of our vessels, with clean food, clean water, clean air, and doing what we can to optimize these vessels. Now, here is the thing, because what I have seen when people come to me, and what I experienced personally, is going to many mainstream doctors actually made me worse. It actually escalated the symptoms. And I'm going to say it, the perception was it set me further behind, but of course that's never actually true. We're never really ever going backwards, but we can perceive that in our mind. But really, that's just like, okay, I learned another way not to do things, and I learned another way not to do things. And that's how we get to the correct answer very often. Okay. But in our humanness, it can perceive, and we can perceive and interpret it as, it's not, I'm going backwards. But really, we know that's never true. So, but that is what I would feel like, is symptoms would get worse. Things would get worse. So, one story that I recently shared on Instagram is, gosh, I think like 5 or 6 years ago, I went to a naturopath. Um, as some of you know, I had a decade of not having my period, of not having a cycle, and I tried so many things: Western, Eastern, everything in between, energy, food, so many things. Um, and At one time, I went to a naturopath and she ran blood work, which is great. And I saw that I was anemic. So I would think the same thing. Like, well, if you're anemic, like, I would have thought the same thing, but now I have grown and I've learned. And so she thought, well, we just need to give you an iron supplement to fix that, and then you'll, maybe get your period back. So she put me on an iron supplement, along with like a gajillion other supplements. But I always have this rule when I work with clients and with myself, of I always we just start with one first, and we wait a few days, and then another, and then we introduce another. Like, if you're needing 10 new supplements, start with one, wait a little bit, then introduce another, wait a little bit, then introduce another. This way you can really like see if you're going to be okay. Because if you just start all of them at once and have a reaction, you're not going to know which one it is. So I'm glad I did that, because I started taking the iron, and lo and behold, and I felt this was going to happen, I had a reaction. And this was, the the best. I don't even know. I don't even remember at this time. I don't even remember all of this time later which brand it was, and that was kind of irrelevant. But it was a fancy one, and that you can only get through a practitioner. And what it caused in my body was, this is called angular cheilitis, which is, I didn't know what it was, but that's what the medical terminology for it. It's like this cut on the side of your lip. My goodness, you guys, are so painful, so painful. And if you look it up, it says that it's caused from a B vitamin deficiency. But really it was the iron supplement that caused this, so maybe it threw my B vitamins out of whack. Or it caused this to my lip. And I go to her, back to the naturopath, and I tell her, like, this is really painful. And it started after taking this iron supplement. And she says, you want to know what she says to me? well, your levels are really low, and you need to get your period back. That's the number one, and that's the number one most important thing. So just keep taking it. Okay. So me at the time gave my power to her. And when I read this channeled message, you guys, oh my gosh, you will be like, oh, it is so good. Okay. And it's just a little snippet, but I essentially was like, okay, here is my power. I will do what you say. You know better than me. Not tuning in, not listening to my body. My body was, it was like, knock, knock, we don't like this. But I was like, someone knows better than me, so I'm going to follow her. And there are no ill feelings towards this woman, by the way. What a gift that this woman was to teach me to reclaim my power and learn my body and have this experience. So we have no ill feelings towards her. Just want to set that clear. I am fully neutral with her, truly. And I'm grateful for the experience, actually, because it led me to here and now. And so my goodness, about a week or two later, I keep taking the supplement. The thing is getting bigger. And then, you guys, it gets infected. It gets infected. Not only does it get infected, I get staph. I get a staph infection, which, if you are familiar, staph is like one of the most hard infections to get rid of. You can go on antibiotics. You can do so many things. And I did so many things, and years, I am telling you, years and years of getting this staph out of my body. Like, I literally went to one of my woo-woo healers back home who got me into the woo-woo and she tested, this was like a year or so ago, that there was like still staph in my liver. And so, I've been working with the emotions and oh, that's interesting. I just pieced that together. That totally makes sense that the liver is anger, and I now feel neutral towards her, but I did not always feel neutral towards her. I think I was holding anger towards her, and now I have released that anger. I feel grateful for her and that experience, and staph has been released. So anyways, this is just an example. And you guys, that time was literally one of the scariest things I've ever been through. When you have a staph infection that is like it wasn't just my lip, it was like it started taking over my skin, my face, and oh my gosh, it was terrifying. It was terrifying. Like when you have something taking over your body that you don't know what to do, and it's an infection that like medical doctors are just like antibiotics, 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 and I'm like, but I'm like working on my gut health, and I took antibiotics and it didn't help, and all of these things. It was a mess. This is what happens when we don't listen to ourselves. And so when people come to me, they often have experiences like this. They're like, I got worse. They didn't help me. And again, no ill feelings, because this is what people are taught. People go to become doctors. They go to become naturopaths. They go to become healers because they want to help people. And what they're taught isn't helping people. So this is the larger issue that is at hand. So we can't be mad at them. And so then what happens is then we get mad at the system, because then we're like, the system is broken. Okay. And what does this do? Well, this just creates more angst in the body, more fuel towards this issue. So what do we do? I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. What do we do? This is where I'm going to read to you this channeled message, because this will change everything. This will change everything. So it's a little snippet from what my higher self brought through. I invite you into this magic, into this transmission, into this illumination, into this, as I look out and see these two beautiful birds. So many signs and synchronicities. I invite you into this. Taking a deep breath, letting these words receive you as you receive them. Okay. When one sees the system as bad, they have not overcome it. When one views this system as a stage of consciousness to have reverence and gratitude for, now you may grow in oneself. For nothing is good or bad, or right or wrong, but all serve a purpose. And one of the greatest purposes of the medical system is indeed to bring people into their power. For they have forgotten their power. They have put their health, their body, and their trust of self into the hands of another. This is the ultimate vulnerable place to be. To have one's body and being in the care of someone whom you know very little about. And yet, it is deemed as normal, fine, acceptable, and the standard. To now see past this is the ultimate gift. Do not take this awareness for granted. That to move beyond this realm of consciousness is indeed a gift. That the body knows how to heal. But to heal the body, you must first know you can. You must trust you can. You must have the inner resources to know this is possible and available. That healing is not something someone does to you, but rather that you open and allow yourself into. So, when we see this system as this, we open up our entire reality, our entire being, to the remembrance of God, Source Divine, within us, within you, me, those two little birds flying outside my window, to everything. And really, I've never even thought of it this way, that we are literally, what a vulnerable place to be, to give yourself and your well-being and trust someone else over yourself. And so really, one of the ultimate gifts we can learn is how to read ourselves, how to read our body, how to know what our body is communicating to us. That is what I want to help lead everyone to, who is open, ready, willing, and available. Because here's the thing, if we're holding the system as bad, we're not receiving the gift that it has given us. And when I received this message, it was like I could see that it's like God's created everything, my friends. Source, divine, please put whatever word feels best for you. Everything is created by the Most High. And we didn't just come here to lay back and sip kombucha by the ocean, even though that's a wonderful thing to do sometimes. We came here to learn and to grow and to do that, okay? But it's both and, okay? And some of the tests, and I don't even like to call them that, but the opportunities for growth are more challenging. And this system is one of them. The financial system, our medical system, they're challenging. Don't get me wrong. It is, and when you are faced with the fear of death, I get it. I get it. I get it. I really, really do. I myself was just having the awareness just this morning before receiving this message from my higher self and going for my walk. And I was brought back to this flashback when I first moved to this place, and I am near these medical facilities. And I remember thinking at the time, well, I'm glad I'm near them in case anything bad happens. And I was in such a vulnerable and different place, really not sure what days would be good and bad, and if I was going to be okay. I was really worried about my health a lot. And to now like really deeply feel like I have God within me, and therefore anything is possible. Healing, thriving. And I know now, even when things happen, because they inevitably will, we are human, we are still going to go through this journey. But I know now with anything in my life, health, like relationships, anything, hurdles, struggles, anything, I'm like, this is challenging, but I have the power of God within me. And therefore, anything is possible. And therefore, I am built to overcome this. I am designed to overcome this. And God's source divine would not give me anything that I cannot overcome. And so now that I see the system, especially the medical system, because here's the thing, if we hold the medical system as more powerful than us, if we hold the medical system as this bad, evil, scary thing that's seeking to hurt and kill people, which unfortunately is happening, but can we see this now from a step higher to see, wow, it's brought me into my power, or it is bringing me into my power. And when we get there, my friends, oh my goodness. And here's the thing, don't expect yourself to stay there forever. We vacillate, we're humans. We are going to have doubts and anger and sadness, and things come up. It's normal, it's natural. I go through it too. Some days I am like high on life, thinking, knowing, trusting, feeling I have all my power within me. And then there are other days where I am like, God, I need the reminder. Remind me. And that's okay, because we have these shadows. It's like an onion. There are layers, right? And you've been through trauma. I've been through trauma. Every single one of us have been through trauma in this life and past. Okay. So we have these experiences to lovingly work through and then to help others work through. But it's all a gift to bring us into a deeper level of ourselves and our knowing of who we are. And so when you want this next level and layer of really deeply trusting yourself and your body, two options for you. The health report, this is designed to show you how to come into truly deep power within yourself and your physical body. These are really guiding you to become in co-creation with your body, to come into unity. So you're not just a soul inhabiting a body, but a soul in union with your body. And there's a difference. We want to be in union. And when you work with your body in this way, knowing that you can heal, now all of the obstacles start to dissolve and collapse. All of the health issues start to dissolve and collapse. My role rather, is to help you see the blocks and dissolve them. This is by merging the physical and the spiritual to bring you into divine alignment in your body. Second way would be to be working with me one-on-one, whether it is a session or a long-term container where I hold you in this. I mean, here's the thing. I still get tripped up. This is why I have my mentor to ask and reflect things back to me, because we're human, okay? And this is what I do for people, because it can be challenging to see our own stuff. And so when we have that knowing and then have someone to sometimes confirm that to us, what a gift. What a gift. Or say like, oh, like I'm seeing that there's just one slight thing, or like this is actually something like you were actually picking up something for someone else. Like I would I would and this is feeling like it's for someone, I would actually do this to tune into this part of your intuition, because we all have a unique way of working with our intuition. And I want you to see your unique way of working with your intuition, not how Susie or Johnny or whoever influencer does it. I want you to know your way. And we all have a different way. I would never teach you my way because you have your own soul's unique way. And so this is what one-on-one work does. Get you into the remembrance of how to really open up all of your gifts, work with your gifts on a daily basis for not just healing the body, but for living an incredible, amazing life. So all of the links will be below. And with that, I'm just sending you all infinite love and light.